sometimes the most important things that you have to do in your business have nothing to do with business, nothing to do with marketing, and everything to do with yourself. And the thing that I've been coming up against constantly lately is this upper limit problem. So it's like you go through phases where you have a breakthrough, but then you kind of get stuck there and something isn't letting you go through and get to the next level. And that's where I've been for a while. So over the last couple weeks, I've been thinking through this a lot, and one of the most impactful ways that I've helped myself with this is by talking to myself in a very specific way. So for example, the other day I was going to film with a client, and I have done this before, like this isn't anything new, but this is a new client, it's a new industry I haven't worked with before, and so I just was feeling like nervous. And then you start getting all these like voices inside your head, like saying, what if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if they don't like what you do? And I had to like tell myself, hey, listen, like you've been doing this for 10 years, you have the experience, you know what you're doing, and it might feel kind of uncomfortable at first because it's new, this client and this industry, but it will get easier. So this first month of working with this client might feel kind of like awkward, but by the second month, third month, it'll feel like natural and like a flow. And being like accepting and understanding of myself has made a huge difference versus allowing myself to stay in that like judgmental space of also just telling myself to like suck it up, like you shouldn't feel this way, you're professional, like you're a boss bitch, like whatever it is. And so there's this like juxtaposition of kind of like gently pushing yourself forward while also understanding like where you're at. And it's kind of like parenting, right? And I think about that all the time. You know, there's so many different quotes that you see around and pieces of content about how like the things that you say to yourself, like you wouldn't accept them from a friend, you wouldn't say them to your children. And so like, why are you saying them to yourself? And it's one thing to see that and be like, oh yeah, that's like so true. But then to actually like learn to catch yourself doing it and start to wean yourself off of that like judgmental voice and like replace it with this like softer, kinder, more helpful voice is a skill that you learn over time. And it's so funny because I like recently started working with a coach who is a friend too, and we're like in groups together, and she's super awesome. And we had our like first session, and then I went back to the second session, and I was like, oh, well, like I wasn't able to actually accomplish this. And she's like, Morgan, yeah, we've had one meeting so far. Like, why are you expecting yourself to have completely changed, gotten everything you wanted done, like checked all the boxes in one session? Like, that's not how it works. And instead, it's more about focusing on like the long term and this like gentle progress sometimes. I know for me, like especially because I have ADHD, I went like bam, fast, let's go, let's do this, and then like the burnout hits, right? Or your focus gets distracted. And so there's this like as I get older, learning to softly keep myself focused in the same way. And there is no like one solution because everybody's kind of different. Everybody's life's different. Everybody has different mental illnesses or traumas or whatever is happening in our psyche that makes us the way that we are. And so there is no like one answer. It's a lifetime of self-discovery. And if you can try and enjoy the process of that. So that's where I'm at. My entire life right now is about not just the goal, but the process, learning to enjoy the process, because usually what happens is I get fixated on a goal, and then I again like work really hard on it, but I lose sight of that enjoyment, the joy, the fun, and I'm only looking for the results. But the point isn't the results, the point is the journey. That's what life is about. And if you also enjoy the process, your results are probably going to be better anyway. So yeah, good morning. That's the morning musings, the morning rambling of the day.